Unit 12 Sport Nutrition Digestion 101. Digestion is a complex process of converting foods we eat into the needed nutrients, which the body can then use for energy, growth, and cell repairment. In addition to this, the digestive process also involves separating and creating waste, which can then be removed from the body. The first stage of the digestive system is the mouth. The posh term is the buccal cavity. This is where food is consumed in the body. However, the process of digestion begins before the first mouthful of food. This is because the smell of food triggers the salivary glands to produce more saliva. During the chewing process of food, your teeth help to break down the food into smaller pieces. This is increasing the surface area for digestive enzymes to work on. The chewing of the food also helps to create more saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme called amylase, which starts to break down starch found in carbohydrates. The food then moves through the pharynx, which is basically a tube that's part of the digestive tract that connects the mouth to the esophagus, known as the throat. To make this process easier, the tongue helps combine the pieces of chewed food into small little balls covered in saliva, making it easier to be swallowed. The food then reaches the esophagus, which is branched off from the pharynx and is a muscular tube between the mouth and the stomach. The muscles act like a pump and contract in waves to push and squeeze the food down towards the stomach. This process is called peristalsis. The food then reaches the stomach, a muscular bag that contains acid, which could be called an acid bath, and some enzymes called protease, which help to digest protein. It breaks up all the food and create a slush-like substance that can be digested easier. The proper terminology for this is chyme. So next, the liver and the gallbladder. The liver's main function within the digestive system is to process the nutrients absorbed by the small intestine, which is found in the blood. Some of the molecules need to be broken down even further. For example, fats. Bile is produced, which contains an enzyme called lipase, which breaks down and helps with the digestion of fats. Excess bile is stored in the gallbladder. Gallbladder is a small organ which stores excess bile, which is made by the liver and then is released into the small intestines as and when it is needed. The pancreas plays a very important role within the digestive system. The organ creates and stimulates all the digestive enzymes and releases them into the first part of the small intestines. Enzymes turn nutrients into chemicals so that they are easier to be digested, abstracted, and absorbed. As you can see from the diagram, carbohydrates are converted into glucose by an enzyme amylase, proteins into amino acids by protease, and fats are turned into fatty acids by lipase. Okay, so the food then travels down the duodenum, which is a tube from the stomach to the start of the small intestines. The small intestines is a long-coiled muscular tube where most of the large insoluble food molecules are broken down into smaller, more soluble molecules. It contains all of the digested enzymes made by the pancreas, as well as some extra ones it produces itself. The food molecules are extracted and the nutrients are separated into the good and bad. The good are absorbed into the muscles and the blood. This is done by villi, which contains capillaries, and the bad carry on into the large intestines to be removed from the body later on. So one analogy for the small intestines to help you remember could be like a blender, as it blends chyme into a liquid. So kidneys. Kidneys filter your blood to remove excess water and waste products, which are secreted from your kidneys as urine. Firstly, it purifies the water. It strains blood cells and large molecules from the toxins and fluid. When doing this, urine is produced to carry the toxins away. They also collect minerals that the body needs and puts them back into the bloodstream and filters out more toxins. This is a roughly 24-hour cycle. The large intestine, so moving on through the cecum, which is a tube from the small intestines to the start of the large intestine. The undigested food passes into the wider, thin-walled tube. At this stage, water is separated from the toxins and unwanted materials. The water is then diffused back into the blood, and the rest is carried on. Excretion's function is the bodily process of discharging waste. So the final stage of the digestive system is the rectum and the anus. The rectum connects the colon to the anus. This is where stool is held until it's ready to be removed. When the waste product is in the rectum, it sends signals to the brain. Then the brain decides if the rectal contents can be released or not. When ready, the final stage is the anus, and this is where waste product is finally passed out of the body.